So many times we feel lost because we've strayed away or somehow lost our way. And you feel that what you've done you cannot recover from. But remember, the word says, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature.
Hi guys, I'm Penny.
Hi, I'm Betty.
Welcome back. I know it's always been a while, so it's been like
It's always a while.
But we do apologise. So forgive us. So yeah, we're just gonna get the ball rolling. So as you know, our previous video was about forgiveness. We said that we're gonna be doing it in segments. Like I said, the first video was about how the different types of forgiveness, so how we forgive others, how we receive forgiveness, and forgiveness from God, essentially. So this week we're just going to have a discussion. We're not really going to speak about any specific Bible verses, but we're just going to talk about the difficulties we face when we're forgiving people or accepting people's forgiveness, because I know that that's the problem. You know, when somebody offends us or when we offend people, it's difficult to, you know, heal from that, or to look past it, or to move forward without actually having that on our shoulders. So we're just going to have a bit of a discussion about it. Yeah.
So one reason why I know that it's quite difficult to forgive is that we let people's offences towards us build up, so we don't wash the slate from the last time that they offended us. So it's like, okay, yesterday Femi stepped on my toe. Today she pinched me. Tomorrow I know she's gonna do something else, and we just keep letting it build up instead of showing love towards the person. And it's like, okay, today Femi stepped on my toe, but I'm going to see it through the lens of love, and I'm going to let go, and I'm going to put that on God's shoulders and put it at his throne and receive his peace. Tomorrow she slaps me. Okay, God, you know it's hard, you know, she did it again. But it's not like you're letting it build up. Each and every time you're taking it to God, you're taking it to God. And we can only do this from a place of love, because love covers a multitude of sins. And if I don't love Femi, then there is nothing to cover her sins. It's there in front of me every single time. And I'm just waiting for the next time for her to offend me. And that's now coloured my vision of her. And I see her as the person that gets on my nerves. So every time I will see her, it's like, yeah. She's here.
Anyways, like, just basically following from that, sometimes I feel like the thing that I face, and I feel like a lot of people do face, is that when somebody offends them, even if it's just one thing, every single time you see that person, it reminds you of what they did. So you're having to like deal with that anger again, you're having to deal with that betrayal or that hurt again. So it's difficult for you to be able to have a conversation, or even to be able to even look at the person without actually feeling anger. And so it's like, but we need to understand, in order to, you know, truly forgive, it's not something that can just happen in a day's time. We have to understand, and we have to be honest with ourselves. It might take time, it might take a year, it might take 5 years, it might take, you know, a month. It really does depend on the individual, but as long as you're making an effort that, okay, if this thought is brought back to me, or if I see that person again and these thoughts come back to me, I'm willing to say, do you know what, I forgive this person, and keep moving forward. And then every day, if it happens to be that you see the person every day and you say that thought again, that thought comes to you again, and you say, do you know what, I forgive. Eventually, because you're speaking truth into your life, because as we understand that there's power and life and death in the tongue, so therefore as we're speaking this authority into our life, we're speaking truth, and then eventually we will believe it. And then every single time we see that person, we won't really even remember anything, because we've already conditioned our minds and our hearts to forgive that person. And from there, because I want us to understand, it's like, forgiveness is like a journey. Say you are on it's going to take you an hour to get to a specific place. There are times where you're going to have to stop, and during them stopping periods, you will see that person, or that problem will come for you again. And it's for you to decide to walk past it, or to stay in that place for another 20 minutes. So if you stay in that place for another 20 minutes, each time you stop, you're staying in them places for 20 minutes, you'll find that journey will be longer than you expected it to be. But if you choose to just be like, okay, you know, I forgive, let me keep walking. If the journey was supposed to be an hour, you would get to your destination within an hour's time. So we have to understand that forgiveness is a journey, and we have to understand it as that.
Yeah, process, and it's a conscious effort as well. Like Femi was saying, it's a conscious effort. So it's like, I'm choosing to forgive this person, because if you're just like, I forgive them, but you don't really, or it's not like something that's come from the heart and it's not something that you've taken to God, then you're just paying lip service and you're not really fooling anyone, because every time you see them, that anger will just erupt. Then one day they will sneeze and you'll be vexed. Why? Because you let everything build up.
Like you tell a joke, why is this person laughing at my joke? Is this person talking that her voice is irritating me?
Exactly.
Like all of these things, it's like it's a big problem, and we really need to make efforts to deal with it. We really need to make efforts to actually truly. Because if you choose to love somebody, choosing to love somebody is not saying, okay, I love you only if you do this and only if you do that and only if you're like this. Exactly. When you choose to love somebody, you close your eyes to all of the faults and say that even through this, I choose to love you. I'm not saying that I will condone everything, but I choose to love you. I choose not to hate you. I choose not to condemn you. I choose to help you, and we walk through this together. Because no one's perfect. You're always going to get offended by somebody. So therefore, if we're going to keep allowing people offending you to stop you from forgiving or stop you from moving forward in life, then you're not really going to get anywhere. Your mind is going to be boggled with so many things, so many thoughts, so many negative thoughts that you won't even be able to enjoy an environment that the person is in. Say you are at an event that is supposed to be happening, but because of that person being there, you won't be able to truly experience what you're experiencing, and that's a big problem. Forgiveness is a big issue that we need to be able to deal with. Like I was thinking about something the other day. I was thinking about my dad. This is a true story. I don't really have like the last time I saw my dad was probably when I was 3 years old, and so I went to, my grandma was in the country, so I went to my uncle's house where she was staying, and she told me, because she was going back to Nigeria, she told me that how I should think about her and I should think about my other grandma. And I said to her, what other grandma? I don't know what you're talking about, sort of thing. And she was like, how, you know your dad's grandma? I said, I don't owe them anything, sort of thing. And like before this, like I felt like I didn't really like need my dad, or I didn't really have a grudge against him. It is what it is. Life is throwing me these balls and I just have to juggle them, sort of thing. I didn't really think too deep into it. And then at that point in time, I kind of broke down crying because I was so angry. I was just like, I don't need to, I don't feel like I need to do this. I don't feel like I owed him anything. He's not given, I personally felt like he hadn't given me anything for me to now start thinking about my other grandma, or be thinking about him. I didn't think I owed him that. So then at that very point in time, I realized that I actually held a grudge against my dad. And every single time I thought about it, I would dismiss it. I wouldn't deal with it. I would get angry. I wouldn't want to hash the issue out. And then from there, so like I spoke to my dad literally that week, and I told him that, do you know what? I only realized I had a grudge against you, but I choose to forgive you. I choose to try and build a relationship with you, and I know that it's going to take some time, and I'm going to be thinking about the times that I didn't feel you were there, or you could have done this, or you didn't do this, but I'm going to make that effort to try and forgive you, and it's going to take my time. But if I choose to message you, if I choose to call you, because I can't always keep relying on him to call me, I can't, because that means I haven't forgiven him. That means I'm not making that effort. But if I choose to call him, and if I choose to message him, that means that I'm actually trying to initiate that forgiving process, and I'm trying to, work within it. And, our relationship is better than it was before, and I believe that I can speak to him about anything right now, and, we thank God for it.
Testimonies!
Yeah, right.
And just to kind of, off the back of that, sometimes we expect people to say sorry, and they're not going to.
Yeah.
And their sorry is not the key to you forgiving them. Because whether they say sorry or not, we still have to forgive.
Yeah.
Like, there's nowhere in the Bible that says our forgiveness must be contingent on whether somebody is sorry or not. Sometimes people offend you, and in your very presence, they will live and enjoy their lives. What are you gonna do? What, you can't kill them. There's nothing you could do to them. You have to forgive them and give yourself that peace. It's not for them, it's for you. Because as we forgive, so our Father in heaven forgives us. So if we choose that we're going to hold a grudge, or we're not going to forgive someone, then imagine how that's going to affect our relationship with God. It's going to hold us back many, many steps until we let that person go, and until we forgive them, and until we allow God's peace to reign in us, so that we can love them as we're supposed to love them. And remind that when we're speaking about the story of David as well, so David and Saul hated David and wanted to kill him, and then there was a time where Saul was there just sleeping. sleeping, you know, he didn't have a care in the world. And David was there and he had the power to kill him. But he didn't. Why? Because he forgave Saul for all those times where he was antagonizing him. And he had the love and the fear of God within him. How many of us, when we see somebody that we can repay for something that they've done to us, how many of us will take that opportunity to actually repay them? Because if we do so, it shows that we don't have the love of God, and it shows that we don't have the fear of God. And that's just something for all of us to think about, because we're all in that situation. Nobody is perfect. We always think, how can I repay this person?
Yeah.
But we need to counteract those thoughts with God's truth. Because we have to forgive people every single time that they offend us. He says that we have to turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
He says that we forgive people 70 times, 7 times.
77 times.
Can you imagine?
It's
a lot of times.
It's a lot of times.
A lot of sevens.
It's a lot of sevens there. But yeah, like even to follow on from that story, we also talked about you know, David blessing Mephibosheth. Forgive my pronunciations, but yeah, like if truly he didn't forgive Saul for what he had done, he would punish you know, his lineage, like he would punish him, but because he truly forgave him and said, who will I bless in the line of Saul? The line started from Saul. Who will I bless in the line of Saul? So truly, David forgave that situation, or it was a process, and he committed to that process to the point which allowed him to bless a family member of Saul. Who today can say that, I hate this person, but I can bless his sister. I hate this, I can bless his child. It doesn't happen like that. But we need to get to the point where we are able to do that. And God will bless us for it. God will see our hearts and will say that truly this person is allowing my love to like reign in his life or her life. And you know, we just need to get to that point, you know. It's not easy. And I want us to understand that it is not easy, because we're human beings, and you know, love and forgiveness seems to be something that is beyond our human capacity or beyond our physical capacity. But we have to think spiritual. We're not of this world. We're spiritual beings, you know. We need the Holy Spirit to even guide us. So it shows that we are spiritual beings. So we need to allow ourselves to tap into that so that we can truly forgive, and so that we can truly forgive through love. So yeah.
So we want to thank you for watching, and we hope that you received something and was blessed by what God has kind of used us to say, because I know that definitely I'm feeling a bit somehow in my heart. So yeah, thank you for watching once again. Please like, share, subscribe. We know it's something a bit different than what we've been doing, but you know, variety is the spice of life. So keep watching, please let your friends know, leave comments, send us emails, like interact with us, and let us know topics that you want us to talk about and things like that. And we will definitely try to make videos on them. So thank you, and we hope you enjoy your day. Bye.